rut is finally here, and you're probably like us. You're probably tired of seeing these little bucks that we have showed you in the first 3 episodes. I'm here to tell you, episode 4, we're finally going to start seeing some of those 4-star recruits. Let's get right to it. This stand's been hot for Austin here in the month of November, so he's dug into it. He's sat there a few days in a row, and he's ready to go. He's had some little bucks move through already. You know, he's still waiting on one of those bigger bucks to show up to see if he can't get a shot. And just like that, Austin's got a buck that he would love to sign, show up right behind him, right behind the tree, and he has to make a tough adjustment and turn and try to get the camera arm swung around and also find a hole to shoot through, which is going to be tough in this situation. Ever since we started filming, this has been a challenge for us, and I think it's true with anybody that has to self-film. There's no cameraman in the tree. You are the cameraman. You're the hunter at the same time, and you've got to put 2 things into one and try to do your best at the both of them. And it's hard enough to get a shot off, but to get it off on film is it's a rewarding feeling, but it doesn't happen very often. And most of the time when you get that deer right where you think you're going to be able to get a shot off, he stops and he's behind some limbs or behind some brush, and you just can't get a shot off. This is a frustrating situation for Austin. The buck just happens to stop in all the right places, and he's going to get to live to see another day. So we finally had one of our biggest cold fronts of the year. The weather's pushed down into the 30s, and that's really, enhanced the bucks' movement. They've been pretty active here in the last few days, last few weeks. And just like Austin was dug into one of his best stands, my dad and I chose to do the same. And normally this spot for us kind of peaks out late October, but this year we're kind of running into early November, mid-November, and it just hasn't slowed down for us yet. We have this doe come in pretty quickly. She's making quite a bit of noise over the highway traffic, which is not normal. I mean, normally they come in pretty slow, and you really got to use your eyes, as I've talked about before. But in this case, there's a lot of noise being made, and we just knew that there had to have been a buck or something trailing her. And you can kind of hear footsteps off in the distance, and we're sitting here searching around looking for them. And here we are with another 3-star recruit. At first he looks like a 4-star recruit. He gets the heart rate going a bunch, and we are both pumped up. We're in the tree just trying to figure out if we're going to shoot him or not. He stands around here for a while, and then he works his way and checks this scrape that we had actually poured some of our Big Daddy Scents into it, which is a surprise. Like I didn't know that could actually work, but it actually proved itself in this case, and we'll see a little later on tonight that it actually happens twice for us. So we have no prior knowledge of this deer, and we're sitting here trying to figure out if we're going to try to sign him tonight or not. And it turns out that we decided to let him go, and he kind of gets a couple of whiffs of us and smells us a little bit, but he's got his mind on this doe so much that it doesn't really spook him too bad. And I don't think we've run him out of the area totally. Once again, we get caught in the situation where we put our big camera up and we hear footsteps. Here comes this big buck right under the tree. I pull out this little camera of mine I have. It's better in low light anyway. I'm able to pull it out and the battery is dying on it. So, I mean, we have just enough shooting light where we could have actually shot, but at the same time, I'm kind of telling Dad that this camera is about to die and it could go off at any minute and I don't want to miss the shot, so you better not be shooting. As I alluded to earlier, this is the second buck that comes right into this scrape that we just happened to pour the scent in right before the hunt. So I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but I think we'll be trying it again in the future.
End of a long day today. Seen some pretty good deer. Passed up 3 130 class deer today at 10 yards. Couldn't ask for a better day than that, other than, you know, maybe one of them was a 160 would have been better. I don't know, we got to keep going every day. Hopefully one of them will come by us for gun season. We got about a week to get one. And then it all breaks loose after that. You don't know what's going to happen when they start shooting the gun. Now I go home, get something to eat, try again tomorrow.
We ended up going home, getting some rest, and waking up the next morning, and there's frost all over the ground, and it just looks perfect. It doesn't take too long for us to tell that there are a bunch of does in the area, just as always with this spot. And from the night before, there's a good chance that we're going to get to see one chasing. With the sound of that huge limb breaking, there for a minute we kind of sounded like the guys on Finding Bigfoot as we got all alert. I mean, we were looking all over the place trying to figure out where it came from, what made the noise, and where in the world this deer's at. Hopefully it's a deer.
There he is, there he is. Nice one. Big one, that's a big one. Under the tree, Dad.
Under the tree where?
Under the tree.
Which tree?
Right here, he's gonna come through the fence.
Oh, okay, yeah. Better get your hair, get ready.
He's up on the tree. You see him?
I've got to move this.
It's a big 8.
And it's a post right away.
God.
Hopefully you can tell by our reactions that this is a big buck. I mean, I'm sitting here with the binoculars and I've got the strap over one eye of him and I can't see a thing out one eye. And I didn't realize it for the longest time that I had that strap over it. And I kept wondering, what in the world is wrong with these binoculars?
Here it comes, here it comes. He's coming through.
Oh yeah, he's a dandy.
In the gap.
He's gonna run it right back through here.
There he is. There he is. I think.
Hey, do you think I should I find
Yeah,
a can?
get it.
watching.
And now that this deer's here, it's a good old-fashioned battle between us and the doe to see who can win his attention. We're gonna try everything we've got at him, a grunt call. We don't have any antlers, which is kind of stupid, but I'm digging for this can call that's supposedly somewhere in my bag.
How far is everything? Left. He's too far now. Looking at me. Look at that hole. He's going that way. I see him. You gotta get his attention.
Can you see him on camera?
Yeah. You gotta get his attention. Get that can.
It's not in there.
Is it in yours? I bet it's in yours. Snort weasel. He never heard me.
Get him on video. Good Lord, he's tearing stuff up. And here comes my filming OCD in again, where I know that my dad just wants to hunt so bad that he's probably not paying much attention to the camera, and I just happen to look over and the deer's nowhere to be found on the screen. So I kind of got to keep an eye on him at times.
Gosh, dang.
Is he in focus?
Yeah, everything's good. It's on.
You weren't even on him.
Yeah, I've got it. I forgot. I can see him.
Keep
He
video.
moved.
Keep video.
Snort weasel's butt.
Yeah, that got his attention.
Dang, he's fired up.
This is awesome. He's wanting to fight, dude.
Why do you need them antlers?
Yeah, I know it. Here we go. He's gonna come out.
He's coming too. Get ready. He's coming.
How far is that?
He's too far right now.
45 to the edge though, right?
He's on the edge over there right now. Just keep it on, breathe.
Gosh, dang it, he's right
To that dirt over there.
to this dirt patch.
Just shoot him at the end of the base of the hills, probably 45 yards.
So third pin. So this deer's just running circles around us, basically playing games with us, and we're not liking it too much. We're trying to get his attention. We've called way too much, and nothing's working. And we've pretty much lost hope, and he turns and starts heading away. And what do you know? I've finally found my can call.
Down there.
Okay, there they are.
And he's gonna come out down there.
They're still standing there.
They're gonna come right back down the fence on us. Stay ready. They'll come right down the fence.
As you can hear my dad mention, he was hoping that they would get pushed up against this fence that kind of borders our tent. That never ends up happening. The deer just keeps trailing the doe, and they eventually ended up wading across the pond, and we have not seen the deer since. Hopefully he makes it to next year. He's got to be a 4-star recruit, and it's exciting to finally have one on the board.
See where he's going.
He's gonna go down. They're gonna go down the edge of the dam. Can you see him?
Yeah, I'm on him right now.
It's been an exciting morning so far, as you can tell, hopefully. He come up and run those deer all around us, those does, and they stopped for a while up here. We think they got a whiff of us. They held up for a little while, and then, his mind went right back to rutting, so he chased her all around, up through there, and he went and waded through the pond, and they're off headed north right now. We've seen it before in here, though. Last year, the deer I killed disappeared for a while. He ended up coming right back by us. giving us a shot, but I can't say that it's real likely that this one's going to do the same, but it's still fairly early in the morning, and we think we have this deer on camera. I don't know how far away that is. It's not too far away, but the idea this morning was that we were going to come in here, and Dad seen a big one yesterday in a different spot, and we thought that we had a good shot at it coming in here. Instead, this deer shows up from a different place, and he's a big one, so I don't know if we'll get another shot at him. I don't know if I'm going to get to come back tonight, but does are around, and that's important in this spot, and it always gives us a chance.
The sneak attack at the end didn't work out as the buck never showed back up, but a 4-star recruit has finally been spotted.
November has brought plenty of 3-star recruits to the radar, but still no bucks have been signed. Be sure to check us out on all social media, as well as hit the subscribe button below.